Her Voice with Robyn
and Olivia.
Today we have an incredible guest that is outside the DCU organisation. We have extremely talented entertainment journalist Rebecca Louise Fisher.
Oh, guys, that's so cute.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
We're so excited.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? It's a gorgeous day outside.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous.
Unreal.
I slept until midday, not realizing what the day was going to be. So
Regret
that was heartbreaking.
Day of the
Heartbreaking.
year, girl.
I know. Were you in work this morning?
I was, but I was gonna get a nice seat in the office by the window and mourn. But I was doing the early shift, so I'm out by 2 p.m. Might get a pint later.
It's perfect pint weather.
It's perfect pint weather. So yeah, basically we wanted to bring you in because her campus is an all-female journalism society. Actually, we have 3 men, but it's usually an all-female journalism society. And there's a lot of women who want to do what you do and they just don't know where to start. A lot of us are studying film studies, media studies, journalism. We're both communication students. And we were just talking about social media stars that we love that aren't just influencers, they actually work in the field professionally, and your name came up loads. And obviously I've been stalking you for a year. You already know me. I've been following you for a year.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's perfect. Redhead support. So we just automatically, I went, Becca, we have to bring her in. But yeah, your job is absolutely incredible. It is absolutely incredible.
It's the dream, literally.
It's a lot of what we kind of want to do, whether it's writing or radio or post. But just for the first question you have is that we're obviously a university radio show.
Yes, indeed.
And that's where you started when you were in college. So how did you find that experience, and do you think that helped you build skills in the career you have now?
Absolutely, 100%. Shout out Flirt FM. I was in Flirt FM for my first year in NUI Galway and stayed on Flirt FM for I think the entirety of my degree. I think the only time I stopped was when I did my study abroad. But I think this summer afterwards as well, I graduated, I was still there right up until I moved to Dublin. I was on Flirt FM and it was honestly great because it was kind of one of those instances where I was going into it thinking, oh, we're going to get so much training, you know, I'm going to really be shown the lay of the lands. And I walked in first day, they were like, you get 1 session with a radio DJ and then it's free for all. You have your own show, figure it out. Wow. And so they paired me up with 2 lads, one who was in my course and one lad who was actually in the arts, but he was a year older. And they were like, you have a show together now, we think you'll work. Figure out how to use the desk. Figure out your own segments, your own themes, what you want to talk about, what you want to do. Don't get us, struck off by the BAI. Do your bit. And I was like, okay, this is an opportunity to show what I can do, to have a bit of fun as well. Of course. And to kind of build skills through doing, as opposed to I was studying journalism at the time. So we had a lot of written work, and we had a lot of reading, class readings and to do, and we're studying other journalists, but I never got that hands-on until I joined Flirt FM. So I think being given the reins early on and being told figure out what you like and what you don't like really set me up for my career. And that wasn't attached to the university you were studying at, was it? Yeah, so it's based in NUI Galway. But it's community radio station. It was set up by Michael D. Higgins. Like a legend.
Wow, that's
we love him.
We love him.
Yeah, there's a little picture of him when he had hair at the desk that I sat at, and
that's
I was
so cute.
That's
that's incredible. It was great that they let you come back after even you graduated.
Yeah, they were so accommodating. Even to this day, I run into the Flirt FM team at events and stuff, and they comment on all my stuff. They text me and I graduated in 2018. So it's a family for life, and they really do try to get people out into the world who are going to make something of themselves, because it's it's only going to look good for them. They want you to leave with skills, they want you to leave with experience, which is a huge thing and something to put on your CV, which I really respect.
Yeah, of course. Obviously in journalism we do communications, which is the perfect blend of both practical and written work. We do film production, video production, photography,
audio,
everything. But a lot of journalism is kind of just the writing aspect and essays, so it's kind of hard to not have that experience going in, and it's great when universities provide that for you. So we're very thankful to have this one here.
We do. This is such a good experience that we can do this, even though it's not directly involved in our course.
A lot of girls do the radio with music, but we just like chatting. We love interviewing people.
You might as well. That's the best way to get comfortable on the mic and on camera, is just doing it, just chatting. And that's how I got where I am. I've been a blabbermouth since day one. Someone finally gave me a microphone and I was like, wrong idea. You're gonna regret this.
And then for anyone that doesn't know your story, how did you get your start in the industry after the radio show?
So a long one. So I graduated in 2018, and at first I did want to study journalism, but I had it in my head that I wanted to be an actor, and my family were like, go get a real degree, and then when you finish your real degree, we'll see where you're at. And I was like, okay, whatever, grand. So I told my family I was gonna like work after college. I was lying through my teeth. I had applied for an acting college in Dublin, submitted an application, went up to do the audition, got it, and didn't tell anyone. Walked into my family and was like, I'm going to acting school. I'm not going to do journalism. I'm going to be a star. And no one spoke to me for a week. And I was like, I'm moving to the big city. Moved up to Dublin, did my acting degree, which I honestly 100% do not regret. 6.5 grand. I still go back there to teach, which is very cool.
Incredible. That's amazing.
I teach media training there. I'm going next week. Like,
wow, you must be very talented.
Swings and roundabouts, guys. But one of the big things I learned there, I was like, I really enjoy acting. It's incredible. But I was like, I learned editing. I learned how to be on camera. I learned how to get comfortable on camera, behind the camera. I learned how to film. I learned how to market myself. Like, totally great experience. But graduated from there. It was about a few months living in Dublin, a little summer, having a good time. And then this thing called COVID-19 started happening.
Yeah. Happy 6-year anniversary to COVID, by the way. I've been the same.
Like, ooh, the bad times, the dark times. And you can't act during COVID.
No.
That's not a thing that's happening.
Those Zoom auditions, they're not great.
I was like making self-tapes in my house, like crying in my bedroom. And I'm paying like 800 for a rent a month for. And so I was like, okay, something's got to give here. Like, what am I going to do? And at the time, I was like, I'm going to write some things while I'm at home because I'm bored and I like writing and it is what it is. So I was like reaching out to like certain like blogs and stuff. And I was like, you know what, if I can just submit stuff right now, like to make me feel a bit better, I'll do it. Ended up being like, okay, we're coming slightly out of lockdown, but the film industry is not picking up in the slightest. Let me have a look for a job. And while I was looking for like coffee shop jobs, whatever, I ended up getting a job in a coffee shop and they asked me to be social media manager. And I was like, more time to be on my phone.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing socials for them, and everyone was saying to me, they're like, you're such a natural on camera, you're so good, like you made me want to come here, like you've got to get back into this. And I was like, fine, if you say so. So we ended up on LinkedIn and Indeed and being like, oh, maybe I'll get a social media manager job, maybe I'll get this, that and the other. And I saw an opening for a journalism job and I was like, maybe we pick it back up.
Yeah.
But I fully went in being like, they're not going to want me. Like, I've taken too much of a time out. Like, they're going to take a recent grad, this, that, and the other. Went into the room. They asked me why I'd taken my break. And I was like, honestly, I don't really know. At the time, I wanted to be, like, before COVID, I was like, I'm going to be a hard news political journalist. And then after COVID, I was like, I don't want to hear the news ever again.
Yeah.
Literally.
You want to be a political correspondent.
Yeah. Wow. And then I quickly realised I do not have the head for that. I don't have the, like, actual,
the
like,
willpower
stamina.
and the mentality, yeah.
No, at all. But I was like, I'm so interested in it. I still am. But I was like, that's something that needs to take a back burner. So when I came in there, they were like, yeah, we're kind of looking for someone who's, like, more female-led, because there was a lot of guys on the team and it was getting real male-heavy, and it's meant to be, like, a all-around inclusive site. They were like, we want someone who loves entertainment, pop culture, music, film, TV. And I was like,
that's me.
It's me. So left, thought I didn't get the job, got a call like 3 days later and they're like, you're in. And then I essentially got the reins of that job and haven't stopped since. And
so that's the job that you're still at now?
Yeah.
That's
so moved up the ranks a little bit and then started doing my own stuff on the side. And yeah, still there to this day. That was like, what? 4 or 5 years, almost 5 years ago now.
Do you think that job gave you the balance to pursue your own social media work outside?
Yes, as well, because I think it let me hone in on what I was interested in, and then I met so many people through that were like, why aren't you doing this on the side as well? And I was like, oh, you're not wrong. And a lot of people were like, start a podcast, and I was like, listen, everybody has a podcast. I don't think anyone needs to hear from me right now. Like, it's not the be all.
It's very podcast heavy. I definitely agree.
Especially since COVID, the last 5 years, it's definitely
people were at home and they're just like, oh, let's just film a podcast.
Like, I'm a strong believer in, I don't think everyone needs a mic. I'm like, sometimes I don't think I do. I like to listen to other people talk through me, but no one needs to hear about my day. Like, they don't, and I'm okay with that.
They don't want to sometimes.
No. I'm like, sometimes I don't want to listen to me.
Yeah, that's why I love interviewing as a podcast. I love hearing other people's stories. Yeah. It gets a bit repetitive sometimes.
Yeah, like I love at the moment, like, all the like Love Islanders coming out of Love Island and they're all getting into it, and I'm like, I find that way more interesting than just hearing like
it's the only reason I'm
walking themselves.
It's the only reason why I'm walking my dog is because I have podcasts.
Like the only one where they talk about themselves that I can actually like tolerate is like I'm Grandma.
Oh yeah,
but like they're interesting
so
people,
funny.
you know.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
But how did you get that job? Because a lot of places now they label it as graduate, but they do say like 3 to 4 years experience.
Yeah.
Did you label your journalism degree as your 3 to 4 years experience because you were doing practical work throughout?
No, so I said basically when I went in, I was like, look, I was working throughout college. So I was doing like student independent news, I was writing for blogs, I was like doing photography and videography, I had experience from the radio, and I was like, I was a working student, which I do recommend. I know it's so hard as well, especially when you're in a degree that has like those practical aspects to it as well. You're like, I have so much to do. And did I burn out in college? Of course I did. Yeah. But I think this is one of those industries where you have to go into it full throttle at first, and you really have to graft in the early days, so then you can chill and get like free concert tickets and just go to festivals and interview like boy bands later down the line, you know. And like I've really noticed that, like, and that doesn't say the graft ever stops or the grind ever stops. It really does not. But I think like working and doing that early on and building up a portfolio will, one, stand to you, and two, it honestly just sets you up stamina wise for this job, because you need to be someone who can take the constant grind. And if you're not, I see a lot of people coming into the industry and they're like, I'm going to HR because they've asked me to do this and this. I'm like, baby, no. Your hours are not set.
It's the lay of the land.
Yeah, this is how it works.
Yeah.
And also, it's not just 9 to 5. You could be working weekends. You could be working nights. You could be working at 5 a.m.
Yeah. Oscars, I was up at 5 a.m. I was like, everyone's like, did you see Jessie Buckley? When I was like, yeah.
I actually just stayed up to 3:30 just to watch it, just for fun.
I was like, out with my laptop, like, in my pajamas, being like, woo, yay.
Type.
Yeah, oh my God, that's incredible. Yeah. You write incredible articles for extra.ie. I read all about your Oscar ones. And you write about so many topics, from Irish news to entertainment and so much more. How do you come up with new, fresh ideas constantly, and what are the steps you take to write a good article?
So I'm always on. That is like my biggest thing. I think if you know what resonates with your audience, so like if you're working with a particular publication, you'll have like a lot of insights into your analytics. You'll have a lot of insights into like your Google history and what people are searching and what people are clicking on, especially through your social as well. You'll have like a really big insight into your audience, and you need to know your audience like back to back. Like there are days where people will come in from another site and they'll be like, we're working with you for a week, and I'd be like, yeah, sit down, shut up, because I know my audience, and if you're going to pitch something to me and you're going to turn around and be like, that's going to do great, I know it's not, or I know it will. And like, our audience is ever changing, so you need to like be on the ball about what's trending, what's happening. So I rely on social a lot. I have like every single celebrity's notifications on. My phone is hell. It's always warm, which is
buzzing
like
off the desk.
No, genuinely, and I've really like my algorithm is like tight knit, and I will not let anyone, like my friends, I'm like, don't send me memes. I can't afford for you to send me memes right now because it will F up my algorithm, and I can't do that.
Of course.
But I'm like on TikTok, there's so much. I'm like going through Reddit, I'm going through Instagram, going through Twitter, X, whatever you want to call them these days.
It's Twitter.
It's always going to be Twitter.
Yeah, it's never X.
I like to annoy Elon, so it's Twitter. And also just like hearing people, knowing people, being on the ground. So like I have a great relationship with a lot of the music labels here in Ireland, with the like media houses, with production companies. So like if something's gonna happen, they're like, listen, forewarning, Niall Horan's coming out with a new single, he's gonna be doing this, get down there, take some pics, do whatever. And so it's kind of like just in who you know, getting in there, and knowing kind of like little things that are gonna come up, like, oh, this week what happened, we'll say Jessie Buckley is at the Oscars sitting there, she shouts out her husband. I've never seen this man's face in my life. I know she's talked about him, but I have no clue what he looks like. Camera pans to him. Immediately I'm like, you know what will do great? Who is Jessie Buckley's husband? Because everybody wants to see that man now.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
I'd never seen him before.
No, I was like, you got to get on top
You know,
of
I read
this.
your article about
Yeah,
him.
who he is. Great guy. Mental health doctor. Great guy.
Yeah, incredible.
Love him. But like things like that where I'm like, what would I want to know from this as the reader? Like, what would I find that interesting? You know, our big thing in work is we're always like, someone will pitch something and I'll be like, well, would you read that?
Yeah, your curiosity is very much the same as your audience.
And like, would you read through the whole thing? if someone comes to me, because obviously I edit as well as write, and my writers will come to me and they'll be like, this is the headline, this is the first few paragraphs, and I'm like, okay, so would you scroll down at all? And they're like, well, no, I actually kind of know. And I was like, exactly. So no.
Especially with this goldfish memory mentality, and you can scroll for hours and hours, and you really need one word or one name to put in that effort to press that button. Like, it's extremely hard.
And in journalism as well, a lot of it with digital these days is relying on revenue. So if I'm like giving away the entire story in the first 3 paragraphs and you haven't scrolled and watched one ad, I'm getting fired.
Yeah.
So I'm like, don't give it away. Also, like, challenge your readers, make them read 350 words or 1,000 words as opposed to 15 words, or seeing it on the Instagram. Like, I'm a big believer in, I'm like, don't put the full story in the Instagram post, you can read more on
click
the
the link on our story.
Exactly.
That's great advice. Don't have like half the story be on the title, because then people won't click.
People won't be bothered,
because advertising revenue really keeps journalism afloat.
Exactly. People get so mad at me because they're like, you're a clickbaiter, and I was like, yeah, well, did you read it? Did you read it? Like, at the end of the day, it worked. And my big issue is I find a lot of people think they know the full story from the headline and then don't read the full article, and that's how misinformation gets spread. And like, my friends will come to me and be like, did you see so-and-so is coming to Ireland? And I'm like, did you read the full thing? And they're like, no. And I'm like, they're not. Wow. Read the full article. And that's like people I live with, or like my friends, and I'm like, guys, come on.
You should know by now.
Come on.
Even if Josie Buckley's boyfriend's name was in the article, I probably wouldn't have pressed it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So
I'm like, who is her leading man? Her sexy leading man? Click on the article.
And you're also very open about helping people get into this industry. Yes. What like skills do you think really like stand out and help like people like us get into this industry, or stand out like on a CV?
That's not just kind of your degree.
Yeah, I think one of the big things I say to people going into this industry, I've had actually a few Instagram messages and TikTok messages in recent days asking this, and I'm like, create a digital portfolio. I think you should show more than tell. I think one of the big things that stands out to me when people come to us is like video, images, graphics, showing that you can be an all-rounder, you can do so.
Sorry, I'm just writing my notes.
Yeah, I'm like, write that down. Canva template. But showing that you're an all-rounder, showing that you can look into insights and analytics and know what they mean, or you can manage a social media page, or you can be a people person, a networker, a talker. Yeah, go for it. Girl, I'm like, this is gospel, you know? But like, that's a huge thing. Like, a lot of people would come to us early doors and I'd be like, oh, they're quiet, or they're on the shyer side. And I think that is perfectly fine. And I don't think you have to be a big people person, but I think you should have a little bit of a persona for your job. Yeah. Because, you know, like, even if you're not in entertainment, it's a lot of networking, it's a lot of talking to people, and it's a lot of always being smiley and on and being like, hey gal, how are you? Oh my god. Going to events, going to screenings, going to gigs. But even in news, like, I sit by the news desk and they're like going to the interns being like, call up this TD, call up this priest, call up go downstairs, walk down the road, go to the US embassy and ask them a question. And if you're not able for that, you're going to get like passed over for opportunities and jobs. Just be someone that people want to talk to, because journalism is mostly just networking and talking. And I think once you do that, once you become personable and people like want to open up to you and want to talk to you, you get the best content out of it, and you also get the best leads.
Yeah, that's really good advice. So
yeah, job interview, have a big fat smile.
Yeah. You don't have a resting bee face.
No, and as well, like, yeah, again, show more than tell. Like, if you can come in with a CV that has like your degree, you got a 1-1, you got this, that, and the other, great. But if someone actively hands me a body of their portfolio and their work, and I can visually see what they're capable of, delighted. That's like your next round. You're in.
Perfect. You know? I'll be on to making.
Canva Premium. I'm getting that for my birthday now. You are obviously passionate about media as you work in it for your job, but I'm also guessing, like most of us, after a bad day, you want to scroll on TikTok and you want to scroll on Instagram. Do you ever get media fatigue or feel like you're always working, even at 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock on TikTok?
All the time. Like, I'll literally be watching stuff and I'll be like, I'm going to save that because that would be really good for an article tomorrow. And then I'm like, girl, turn off.
Your brain is never off.
It's never off. And I think I've always said, like, I'll sleep when I'm dead, or, you know, when I marry rich, and I can finally be like, I'm going to sit down. But, like, every single thing, like, I'm so bad. Like, I'll be outside and an ambulance will go by and I'll be like, oh my god, I wonder what's happened. Should I DM the guards? no, like, shut up. Like, do you know what I mean? But it's one of those things. I think, like, I love what I do when it comes to the arts and entertainment, and so, like, going to gigs for work or going to see movies or doing that and the other, I don't think I enjoy it any less because of my job. But I do wish sometimes I could be like, that hat off, just enjoyable hat on, instead of like reviewing or like knowing the ins and outs of how things happen. Like when a movie drops or like a single or album drops and people are being like, well, this press tour, I'm like, guys, it's smoke and mirrors. It's all G. Yeah. They're not together. Yeah. You know, she's got a fiance at home and he's happily married. Like, it's not what you think. Like, I do that. I go into an interview and someone's like, you guys had great chemistry. I was like, I don't care about this person. I'm just bored and it's fun to flirt. You get fast answers. But, like, yeah, I do sometimes wish I could just go home and like, brain rot. And sometimes I do. Sometimes I just lie and like stare at the wall for like an hour. Like I actually found I can't enjoy TV anymore. Yeah. I don't watch like a TV show all the way through. Like I have such TV fatigue. I'll watch it for work because we get like a lot of screeners. But like if someone's like, oh, you'd really love like Succession, I'm like, I don't want to watch Succession. Yeah, a TV show about media. Leave me alone.
Do you think that came from constantly writing about television or having to analyze like actors' performances in it? Or
yeah, I think all of the above. Like just having, and as well like when you're going to do a junket or an interview, like you have to watch the thing. And so then I had such a backlog of stuff that people were like, oh, I'd recommend this. I'm like, I don't have a means to watch that right now. Like my mind is dead inside. But you know what? I also get to see a lot of things that I wouldn't like normally click onto, or stuff that wouldn't be of my taste that I've really loved through this job. So I'm like, okay, maybe I need to relax a little bit. But no, I'm always on. But I think I've always been that way anyway. So maybe it's just like...
Yeah, because you would spend your spare time watching television and like listening to music. That's what I do. Like I've been trying to read a lot more. Yeah. But now I want to write articles on bringing books back. Yeah. Because we write for our campus. Do you see? It always anything can be a story. Yeah. Anything could be a TikTok trend. So it is very hard. Like I don't even do it for a job. I just make TikToks for the crack. And every single second I'm like TikTok.
That's literally my friend though. She's a book talker now, and she's just like, she's a journalist, but she does book talk, and she's so funny because she was just like, yeah, people keep sending me book stuff now, and I'm like, oh, does it take the fun out of it? I don't think so. Like I still get like so hyped when I see a new movie, and I'm like, this is everything. Yeah. But and like when Harry Styles' album came out, like I got like a pre-listen, and I was like, this is
were you at that pre-listening party?
No, I was supposed to go to one that was just for journalists, and I was in London, and I was so sad, and I was like, but I got like a link, and I was like, don't leak it, and I was like,
oh my god, dream.
Your friends must have been attacking you for that music.
No, I have a lot of things you have free in advance that I will never admit. But
like NDAs, you have to write paperwork and legalize it.
I think people know as well. My friends are always just like, oh, you've seen it. Like I have like a media Netflix account, so people are like, oh, you've already seen that. I'm like, yeah, and I can tell you what's coming for that.
That's so cool.
Have you ever thought of having a second phone so that your algorithm has one for your own and one for work?
Would love, honestly. I do currently have 2 phones. It's not by choice. And I'm like, I just can't. I don't have the capacity. Like I'm an ADHD queen. I'm just about being type A for work. Yeah. I'm type B at my core. Like, no.
But as you were saying, you go to a lot of like red carpets, award shows, film festivals, etc. What's like something interesting that would like go on behind the scenes that's maybe like unglamorous or like shocking?
Well, I think like people don't understand, one, how short they are, and 2, how unglamorous it is to be a journalist. Like, say the BAFTAs. Is that a good example? Yeah, okay. I would start my day at the BAFTAs at 10 a.m. I would go pick up in full glam at 8 a.m.
8 a.m. in full glam.
I would be in like my dress, heels, everything, makeup, hair done. I would go pick up my accreditation. I would make my way down to the carpet. And then journalists would be locked down in the pen from like 3 p.m. And no one gets there till after 5. But they need you to be locked in. No movement for security purposes, nothing. Like, you can't go to the bathroom, you can't go eat anything. You can bring snacks, but you can't leave litter, and it's kind of taboo to eat on the carpet when it's like clean carpet. And you're boxed in with people you don't know, or maybe you do know them.
It's very shoulder to shoulder, isn't it?
Yeah, and like sometimes it's like,
it's giving festival.
Hey gals, like, we're going to make a plan so we can all like divide and conquer. And it's like, I at one point had like someone from like PR company like pouring water into my mouth because I couldn't move my arms past where my mic was, so I could drink water. Like, I hadn't eaten anything. I never really eat on a red carpet day. I think I eat breakfast and then go all the way through till like 7 p.m. without anything to eat. because it's not, I don't recommend it, but like you can't move.
Choice.
You can't leave that one tiny circle where your feet are on a red carpet.
2 hours in advance does seem a bit silly. Like what's the logistics behind that?
They close off the roads, they have to close off everything. Like it's the only people who can pass our talent, and so they're like, you have to stay there because God forbid you intercept a celebrity, you're done. We're locked in early doors, and it's constant. Like every time I'm like going to a carpet, I'm like, snacks, and then forget to bring snacks, and it's so funny. And like all the time people are like, oh, it's so glam. I'm like, I have a bag with like a tripod, I'm like my laptop, like my makeup, deodorant,
no cute little shoulder bags. It is a tote bag.
I look insane. I'm like the bag lady. And then you know, like the room where they're like all doing the press conference afterwards, that is tiny, so small. They're not in there. You're like, it's like 50 journalists sweating over their laptops. They brought in like catering sandwiches and soup and like maybe a glass of wine if you're lucky, and you're there like slaving away watching it on tiny screens, and then they just like, Emma Stone's gonna come in, and we're all like, yeah, fine, if she wants. And I'll be like, hey Emma, yeah, congrats, can you just give us like a line? Cool, bye, congrats again. And like you just don't care at that point.
It really takes the glamour out of the job.
They'll bring in like Christopher Nolan, and they'll be like, oh yeah, best director, okay. For what? It was Oppenheimer? Yeah, okay.
Oh my god, that's crazy. I would have thought everyone would be like, oh my god, well, I know I'd be like that, but like, I guess because it's something you're just used to.
Well, I knew it was extremely cramped.
Yeah.
The question I've always had is, have you ever had a situation, or do you work it in advance, who asks what questions? Because you only get a very, very small amount of time, especially when it's kind of like on a red carpet, maybe you answer 2 questions max.
Yeah.
And if someone takes the questions that you've planned, in that 2 hours, do you like say, oh, you ask this question, I'll ask this question? Is there any kind of communication between the different media outlets? Or is it first come, first serve?
It depends. So basically in Ireland, obviously the circuit is so small, everyone really knows each other. I'll use an example of when we did the Power Ballad premiere. So it was Nick Jonas and
Paul Rudd, my
boy.
My mum fancies Paul Rudd, and I fancy Paul Rudd. It goes through the generations.
He's so hot person. Great skin. Like looks as young as he did.
I know. Like, he was my first crush, like in Clueless.
Was Nick Jonas nice?
Yeah, and he's so hot as well.
I love Nick Jonas.
He's not aged again.
Is he a short king?
Yes. Yeah. Very short. They kind of both are.
They're really short. All the brothers, though, the Jonas Brothers are so short. Like when I seen them in concert, I was like, these are tiny.
Oh, you went to the Jonas Brothers?
I love the Jonas Brothers. I went to them last year, or 2 years ago when they came.
Oh, they were so
I love the Jonas Brothers. Joe's my favourite, though.
I am a Joe stan. Yeah. You know, I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, any of them.
Yeah. I'm like, just give me a Joe bro, please. Thank you. But like, that was like basically everyone I know from the circuit. So like people that you'd be friends with from like the likes of Today FM, FM 104, RTE, whatever. And we're all very familiar with each other, and we're all mates. So it got to a point where we're doing the carpet, and you have like the PR people and the people who are handling the carpet come up to you and they go, listen, you have 5 minutes max with Nick. You have 3 minutes max with Paul Rudd. And it is in our greater good to understand like what we're doing. So you can do a thing where you round table it, where basically like each person gets one question. Those questions are free for all for everyone that's there. So we can all film the audio and we can use it, and they can use it for radio and I can use it for print. And we can just take that accreditation. Sometimes you each get one question and you'll be told that in advance, but if you're told, hey, listen, can you guys group together? We like are all on. We're like, okay, what are you asking? What are you asking? What are you asking? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to ask about this. I'm like, amazing. Could I get a line from that? And I'll credit you. And they're like, amazing, stunning. So it's all about teamwork. I've had like instances on UK carpets where it's like, oh God, I don't know any of these people. I'm like you're penned in by, not by outlet, but like by like medium. So it would be like international radio, UK radio, international print, international online. So like I do not know, like there's people from like Mumbai there next to me and I'm like, who do you guys want? And so like there's times where I turn, I'm like, what's your game plan? Who do you need? Like, who do you need? And they're like, this person, this person, this person. I'm like, great, amazing. I need the Irish people. Hands down. Anyone else, bonus, but I need the Irish people. So it would be a thing of someone being like, okay, I'm from Hello Magazine. I don't really need Paul Mescal. You'd love Paul Mescal. I'll get him if you grab someone else and then we'll swap. And it's just like, you've really got to be on. And I mean grab. Like you are yelling it. Like,
so would you just like yell people's names to get them to come over to you?
Oh yeah, Andrew Scott's scared of me. Because I
love Andrew Scott.
I'm on like one of his like fan pages. It's like an edit of me being like, Andrew, I swear to God, I flew all this way. I swear to God. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I love Ireland. I'm so sorry.
I love Ireland.
It's so bad. But like, you grab their like publicist and you're like, 5 minutes, please. And you're like literally over a barrier screaming people.
You're begging like.
Well, that's what you got to do, honestly. If it works.
And you know what? If you make friends with your fellow journalists, you can help each other out. Like, it's not
that's really good.
We're not competition at the end of the day. I'm like, look,
you all
some
want the
stuff
same
that works
thing.
for you might work for me. And I'm like, if I get them over here, you might be able to schmooze 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So this actually really goes into our next question is you obviously do a lot of interviewing celebrities and press junkets at television and award shows. With companies that you work for, do you get creative control over the questions or are you told what to ask by the company you're working for? Or how does that work?
So it depends. So you kind of sometimes can get guidelines depending on how big the celebrity is. Mm-hmm. So say if it's someone who is quite private, someone who doesn't really talk much about their personal life, before you go in, they'll be like, hey, listen, like if it's like Netflix will be like, listen, keep it to the project. If there's any instance of personal questioning that isn't like broached by them first, we're cutting the plug. Like you'll get what you got, but you're going out. And it's like, you got to respect that. A lot of people push it. You can push it. Like, say, I don't know, you're interviewing, example, we interviewed Dermot Kennedy, and there was, like, rumours of him having a wife. We didn't know about it, if she was real or, like, what was going on there. I don't know. And we were chatting to him, and we were like, oh, what's the most exciting thing that happened this year? And he was like, oh, yeah, like, myself and the missus. And we were like, oh, the missus. And he was like, would you stop? And, like, we got that line there. And I was like, look, he offered it up.
Yeah.
I
you
didn't
were prying.
He said the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're free.
I didn't pry. I didn't ask. Keeping it comfortable. But if you're going in and, like, say, you know, something happened, like they had a bit of a scandal, or the show they were involved in, another actor had a scandal, or something came out, they're going to tell you. They're going to be like, hey, listen, shut it down. Shut it down. And sometimes people ask you to send approved questioning, which I don't like to do, and it annoys me when I have to do it, and I will push back every time, but sometimes it's like unavoidable. Like I've had celebrities be like, no, I want to read them in advance, and I'm like, oh, come on, there's no spontaneity in that at all.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of amazing questions do come like when you see them in person.
From the moment. But I think like a lot of the time I do get creative control. Now you will have like your head of digital in your company being like, listen, we'd love this line or something of this result, like topic, or like, would you ask about like the wedding, or would you ask about this? I'm like, I'll try at the end, but for the most part I'm like, I'm gonna do this myself, by the way, and I'm gonna think of questions, and it's fun.
That's so cool. That also kind of leads on to, you obviously do a lot of press junkets, like recently you were interviewing Dave Franco for Hoppers. So for people who want to know more about the industry, like how do press junkets work?
No, they're fun. They can be a bit stressful. Basically, they're always in hotels.
They're always in hotel rooms.
Like tiny little rooms.
And I always am like, God, I've seen the inside of so many hotels in so many different countries, but like never stayed in them. But basically, you get a time slot. It's usually like 5 to 7 minutes. You get brought to a hotel. We get told to go to a hotel, and you have like a check-in time. You need to be there for your check-in time. It's usually long before your actual time, but you never know what's going to happen. And essentially the talent will be in one room. They will be there the whole day, and you will be brought in, sat down, do your chat, brought out, next person brought in, chat, out for hours. And it's basically, you'll have like one camera on you, one camera on them. You'll get both files sent over to you, so you get both like POVs, and there'll be like a cameraman being like, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, last question, and you're like, and you can just see him in your eye line like mouthing, and you just gotta go.
Is that for timing, or has it ever been like instances where like, let's say they didn't like someone's questions and they're like, wrap it up? Do you think that happens often?
Yeah, I don't think it happens often, but I think there's been times where they're like, if you can tell the talent is either getting uncomfortable or they're just like not having any of it, or tired. Like I've had instances where like mid junket they've been like, can he just go outside and have like a glass of water and just sit for a minute because he's sick and tired of being here? And I'm like, you know what's so fair? You're trapped in a room all day, no sunlight.
And they're probably doing the same kind of thing over.
The same questions
over and over again.
What does this movie mean to you?
Like over and That's why I try to spice it up as much as I can, but also you don't want to like take it too far the other way and like make it like a game, because like they want to be asked about the project.
Do you feel under pressure like in a press junket? Like
especially when you're towards the end of the day, I'm guessing.
If I saw someone being like to me like 1 minute, I'd be like, oh.
I think I just panic because one, I'm a yapper, so time is difficult for me, and two, like it is so intense. Like, it's like you get there, you're sat, and then all of a sudden it's in the room. Do this, do this, do this, do this. And you just have to get, like, enough out of them. Enough, because, like, say, God, you had 2 questions, you thought they were really good, and then they're not giving you the answers you want. Those next 2 questions need to be good.
Yeah.
And it's one of those moments where I'm like, ha ha ha. Please help me, someone please help me. And like, I've had panicking moments where I've like been like, listen lads, can I just like do over that last question, because I've completely lost my train of thought because it's not going well. And people are really accommodating, and the teams are really nice. I think when they come to Ireland, I know a lot of like the camera crew now, so they're like, you know the score, don't take the piss, but like, you're fine. And I'm like, thank you, love you guys.
They're not going to beat you out, basically.
Yeah, but like, it's tough, it's stressy, and like, you have to be really great like about thinking on your feet, because they'll say something and you'll be like, and there's been times where they're like, wrap it up, and I'm like, I don't know, he seems to be enjoying this. I'm like, push the button a little bit and have another go. And
but sometimes they also, I feel like they lead you on to another question that might not necessarily have been the one that you went in with.
Yeah.
And it could also be even a better question. Yeah. Sometimes, again, that idea of spontaneity.
Yeah, that's the thing. Natural conversations and topics, like, they're not written down. Like,
they're usually the best ones.
Exactly.
Yeah. And sometimes they just want to chat. Yeah. Honestly, sometimes they just want to actually have a chat. They'll be like, oh, your hair looks cool, or where'd you fly from today? Yeah. Or like, what's going on? I'm there like, okay. Like,
speaking of interviewing, you've interviewed so many talented people over the years. Who's been the favourite person you've ever interviewed, and what made that particular interview special?
Oh, that's a good question. Oh, there's been so many, and I've had some really, really good ones. As of late, I really enjoyed Lola Pettigrew. I think they're incredible. I think they're so knowledgeable about what they do on each and every project. And also just a really cool person who's like proper delighted to be there. So it's like you feed off that energy. Yeah. I think my most recent favourite one was probably John Bishop. Yeah. Just that man. He's such
I love that man.
Funny man.
He's so I love funny. That man.
He's so funny. And we had like our best moments. So tidbit of information. The day prior to my John Bishop interview, I got food poisoning.
Oh, I saw this on the TikTok.
I was not okay. I mean, like fully, like in the bathroom. I was not okay. And I knew we couldn't cancel it. Like, I had been approved for it. No other staff member had been approved. So we can't pass it over to someone else. You have to go. So I was like, okay, get it together. So it's like the morning of, I'm like getting dressed up, and I'm like, I cannot do this. Like, I feel so bad. Went to the venue, and one of the girls who works for the production company was like, how are you doing? Do you want a cup of tea? I like saw on your stories. And I was like, oh, bless. Glass of water, like some digestive biscuits, and just leave me alone. And so when I was going in, I was like, I'm just going to mill through this. Like, I don't care. And then he ended up being just so incredible and so lovely, and like genuinely like interested in me, interested in hearing about what I had to think about the movie, all this stuff. And I was like, I feel so much better. Yeah. Like, I honestly feel so much better.
What movie was this for?
It was for, what's that movie? The one with Bradley Cooper and Will Arnett.
Is This Thing On?
Is This Thing On?
You inspired it, didn't he?
Yeah. And then he was like telling me, he was like, oh, maybe there'll be a movie about you someday. I was like,
nothing better when they give you positive words of affirmation, because you do spend like almost a decade looking up to these people.
Yeah. And I was like, John, I'm literally like,
I'd cry.
Vomiting. Like, I'm literally vomiting. Like, thank you though.
Do you find that like it humanizes celebrities in a good way when you're doing press junkets and interviews?
100%. Like,
it's a lot more positive than negative.
I think like as well, it really like makes you understand the whole like persona, because they'll be sitting there and they'll be chilling, and they're just like you, and they're like, hey, morning, early one, yeah, did you get a coffee? Yeah. Yeah, I got one too. They're good here. And you're like, yeah. And then the camera comes on, they're like, hey, how's things? And you're like, oh, you're just like, mirror you. And he's like,
you're doing your job.
Yeah, literally.
Like, who was it? It was, I can't remember. Someone was just being like, do you have lunch traveling? And they were like, oh, yeah. It's fine though, got a taxi. Taxis are really cheap. And I'm like, yeah, not that you're worried about money. Yeah. You didn't pay for it.
And do you find, also with press junkets, like the company that you're doing it for, they pay for like your flights there, everything. Nothing comes out of your own pocket.
No. So if you're going over, it depends. It's either through the distributor. So like if it's like for Disney or for Universal or whatever, then they'll pay. And if not, and they're not in a position to pay, or they like don't want to pay, your company pays for you. Like, I'm not paying for anything.
That's so
good. Yeah, I feel like media a lot of times in the very early beginnings, coming out of your own pocket is like a factor that people accidentally fall into. Yeah. So it's great that they cover it for you.
Yeah. And then one of our final questions we have is, do you have any final career advice for people wanting to get into this industry? Oh, I kind of said this, but like what skills as well do you think people should build up to kind of apply to these sorts of jobs? Little kind of tips you have.
I think one of my biggest things is, and it's not irritated in me, but it has kind of a little bit, because it seems to come up a lot, with a lot of people being like, okay, cool, so when I've done this, this, and this, and then I'll be ready. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, just do the thing now. Like, if you're waiting around, there are like 6 other people who are already ahead of you. Just post a video, write an article, like go inquire to your local radio station if you can work for free and make coffees, and like maybe go in and do like a demo after a few months. Like, just do it. Post on your TikTok. And like, I've had so many people reach out to me being like, I have no idea where to start. And I was like, well, you're reaching out to me from a TikTok or Instagram account that you already have. So there you go. That's where you start.
Yeah.
Just film a video about something you're interested in and get over being cringe. Like, I've lost so many followers. And it's mostly men from Hinge, and I really don't care about that.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, I was like, okay, bye. So you're saying I make more than you. Yeah. But like, I'm like, I couldn't care less about being cringe these days, because I'm like, but cringe is paying for my flights.
Literally.
Cringe is taking me halfway across the world.
Also, I never think that passion is cringe, and I feel like that's where a lot of people fall behind.
No, I'd never see someone's video, like doing a makeup tutorial, like doing an interview, and I'd never be like, what are they doing? I'd be like, good for them.
They always say it's cringe until you succeed.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm like,
and you're succeeding, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, guys. Well, I'm like, your biggest like instrument to success is in your hand. It's your phone. Just use it. Like, even if you're like going to a gig and you're like, oh, I'm really interested in this, whatever, bring a mini mic, go to the queue and start just chatting to people. Or like, film a get ready with me for going to the gig, upload your clips from it, tag the label, tag the promoter, tag people, get your name out there. It's so easily done. And I think a lot of people come to me being like, I would just never know where to start. And I was like, I'm not going to write you a handbook. It is very, very easy to find your own niche. And I think as well, a lot of people like look to what some people are doing online. I've noticed it a lot recently, because it started happening to me, where they'll be like, I'm going to copy and paste what this person's doing. Yeah. And I'm like, no. You're your own person, and nobody wants to see 2 of the same thing. Yeah. Nobody cares. Like, I have a few friends who we hold each other accountable for posting and whatever, it's grand. And you would never think we've had conversations about, like, you know, our like style or anything like that, because we're so different. Because like, we're 2 different people with 2 different interests and 2 different like editing styles and posting styles and like audiences. And I just don't think anyone cares to see you be a carbon copy of anyone.
I think original content as well is way more interesting, and like
they're gonna press you for you.
When you see something new and like refreshing, like on your socials, you're like, oh, that's so cool, like that's gonna earn my like, that's gonna earn my share, like
something you haven't seen before, or like a new outlook or a new perspective.
And that biggest like comment I've gotten, like which is so weird because it's actually started happening, and I'm like, I don't know, like people have been coming up to me in public being like, I've seen your TikToks. I'm like, I'm gonna end it all. I'm like, St. Patrick's Day, I'm already like 2 sheets to the wind, and someone's like, I'm following you on TikTok. I was like, great.
That happened to me once, and it was a fourth classer.
Oh, really?
I was posting a vintage parcel, and she goes, oh, I watch it. I said, I curse so much in my videos. Like, why are you watching my TikTok?
That's so
talk to your mother.
Yeah, it's always the kids. One time I was on the bus, and one of the girls were like, oh my god, her campus. I was like
it's a little sorority. But you think that kind of digital and your social media pages are also just as important as like your articles, your degree.
100%. Because I'm like, look, again, it shows personality. Like, there are how many people in each of your courses? Like
60.
Hundreds, like at this point, like, all graduating at the same time, all applying for the same jobs with the same CV. Everyone has the resources that the college offers at hand, like the school newspaper or school radio, and you're not really going to stand out unless you show a bit of personality. And I think personality is huge nowadays. Like, they want media, like, personalities. Like, people who can stand up on their own, who can be a brand outside of the brand.
Yeah, but also they'll look, like, for example, when I went on extra.ie, I looked up your name. And then I read through there. So I feel like a lot of the times, like, when I look at Stellar or the Irish Times, I do look for journalists.
Yeah,
specifically
because, like, you know them, you know their content, and you can trust that what you're getting from them is what you want to read. And
just
like,
entertaining.
Put a face to the name. Yeah. It's huge. And I'm like, as well, putting a bit of yourself into your work will never steer you wrong. I think, obviously, if you're doing news, like, keep yourself out of it a little bit, because, you know, like, there's not really a big place.
There needs to be an aspect of privacy when you work in, like, politics and
crime, like, stuff like that. Like, you can't really have personality and opinion when it's the news. But when it's entertainment, have a bit of fun with it. Do you know?
Yeah.
That's incredible advice.
Oh, jinx.
Wow, thank you. So do you rather Becca or Rebecca?
So professionally, it's Rebecca, but it started just to be Becca. And at this point, I'm just going to take it. That actually started because when I was in acting college, they were like, there's too many Rebeccas, you need to change your name. And
yeah,
so
my sister's Rebecca.
Yeah, so I was like, Rebecca Louise is on my IMDb page. And they're like, no, I'm like, oh, it's stuck. Okay, great. I'm okay with it.
But it's kind of different. It does make you stand
Yeah,
out.
I feel like Rebecca Louise Fisher is like very long. So Becca Louise is like, it's beautiful.
I'm okay for it, guys. You know what? Like, people have started sending me like PR jewelry with Becca on it. I'm like, team, thank you.
Oh, that's so gorgeous. Good. Okay, well, Rebecca Louise Fisher, thank you so much for coming. I feel like you've taught us so much as well as like the 300 members that we have. You're so
love this
innovative, you're so creative, you're so entertaining.
I can't wait to work with you all.
Yeah.
It's going to be so fun.
It's
going to happen.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Her Voice.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you.